Well, Gaffer, a 2-0 defeat here at Leicester City, our first of the season. How do you reflect on the contest?
I thought overall it didn't look like a 2-0 game in the slightest. I thought there was a lot of positives there. You know, I'm the first one. I hate losing. Obviously, we all do. All the players do, and I've had to remind them and pick them up in there because there was everything that I wanted to see. Apart from a couple of decisive moments defensively, there was everything that I want to see from the team for a lot of that game. We put them under pressure. They couldn't keep the ball. You know, this team that's had more possession than anyone in the league, they couldn't keep the ball, and obviously we had a lot of it ourselves. But just that final chance and moment just couldn't quite drop to us.
As you say, felt like a tight encounter throughout. Was it always going to come down to details, moments in the game?
Definitely, I think it did. Obviously, we've conceded a really sloppy goal on our part, one of the worst we've conceded since I've been here. Just a bit of a lapse in organisation, a lapse in communication, and it can happen. We recovered very well, didn't let it stop us, straight back in, controlled it, and then again we're pushing. There's a couple of decisive moments. There's a possible red card on Kyogo. There's bouncing balls in their box, and then they obviously go up the other end with one of their only times I can remember them being near our box, and they punish us. So it's very difficult to take when it's like that.
Yeah, when you pick the bones out of that first goal, it's not just one incident that you can point to that led to the goal. It's a fantastic strike, but there's moments that make it avoidable.
Yeah, definitely. I think they're decisive moments. The players know that. We all know that in football games. You know, goals is what makes the difference, and they're frustrated that we conceded a goal like that. Because we do a lot of work on our throw-ins, organisation, everything, and it was a sloppy goal. But of course, it can happen against players of that quality. You
rightly point to a really positive response to going behind, really good build-up play. What was missing in those moments just to complete the actions?
I think we could have crossed the ball more. I think we sometimes looked up. They were really deep. They sort of gave us so much respect in terms of not jumping to press. Every game I've seen man-to-man press, and they dropped back, and whether they wanted to or not, they did. And when we looked up in their box, there was blue shirts, and we didn't cross. I think we saw and thought maybe we'll turn that down. And if you compare it to their final goal, he's chop, and he's just put the ball in there, and he nips in and scores. So I think we've got to the final third a lot, and I'd like to see us get some more earlier crosses in to create some danger and goal chances.
And we've played our own game again tonight. You've pressed high, you've made it uncomfortable for Leicester throughout. We've won the ball back in good areas. Just that little bit of care on a few occasions. You're almost pulling your hair out because you can see it's on.
Yeah, there was lots of moments where we won it, and we sort of had 3 or 4 players breaking off towards their centre-backs, and the timing, the detail in the pass, just a little bit off. But it's not easy, but the players put so much effort in. It's not, you can't just turn up here and just say we'll press Leicester and get the ball back. They have to be so disciplined, so well organised and tuned in, and run, because Leicester have got some brilliant defenders on the ball, midfielders on the ball. They can play, and they must have kicked the ball out 6, 7, 8 times in the game, which is not normal, and it comes from the intensity and the work ethic of our players, and I'll commend them for that.
When you lose a game of football like this, does it make it even more difficult for the players to take, for you to take, because you warrant something from it? You feel like you've been in it throughout?
It does, but performances will get you wins. That's the thing about football. You can nick a goal 1-1, and sometimes you go home and you think we've played really bad there. We didn't deserve that. Now it's about results. Football's about results, but in order to get results consistently, you need good performances, and we've had good performances in all of our league games so far. Yes, decisive moments cost us tonight, but overall, generally better than the opposition, and that's something that we need to take forward.
Bit of housekeeping. How's Jay Stansfield? Of course, didn't make the matchday squad today.
So Jay picked up a knock, sadly on the Port Vale match. He's not too bad. It's not a long thing. You know, we'll see how he goes over the international break. See if we can, get him going again.
As you say, into that first international break now. Started the season with a couple of wins, a draw and a defeat. How do you look back on our start to the campaign?
I think it's been a good start overall. 7 points out of the 4 games is a decent return. We've won a couple, we've lost obviously, but we've drawn. But we've seen a bit of everything. Ipswich at home, top team at this level. Leicester away, they've finished 18th in the Premier League last season, and Blackburn, and they've all been different games. We've seen a bit of everything. The main thing for me is, are we generally playing well, maintaining our identity and imposing our game on the opposition, and we've done all that on all the games. So I do take I do take positives from that.
Very finally, the transfer window closes Monday at 7 p.m. Do you expect us to be busy, active in the next few days?
Yeah, I think that we would like to finish the squad off. There won't be loads of players or anything like that, but maybe one or two if we can do that would be great. But I haven't really had too much of an update. Obviously been focusing on this game, but we'll see how things go.
Thanks for talking to us, Kevin.
Cheers.